Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome back to the Optimistic Survival series after a very long break that we have taken. It is so good to be back, and I am really excited to pick back up with our series. Of course, if you remember, our last episode was all the way back on Thanksgiving when we ate one of everything. We still have some remnants of that left, and I actually logged back on. I still had the golden apple effect I had not been on since the end of that episode. But we are back now, and we have a lot of work that needs to get done. I would like to visit an ancient city at some point in the next few episodes, but to do that we are going to need quite a bit of wool. Now, if we head over here to our sheep enclosure, our sheep pen inside of the barn, we do have a pretty good number of sheep. However, I would like to make an automatic wool farm, and that we have a pig in here, and that is what we are going to be focused on in this episode. And I have already created the design and layout for this farm. It is just going to be a matter of building it. I'm happy with how the design turned out, but we will need to figure out a place for this. It's going to be built out in the open. It's not going to be an actual building like our smelting facility or anything like that, but it's going to be built into the ground. In fact, it is a 27 by 21 hole that is 7 blocks deep, and the sheep are built into it. So I'm thinking we could put it here, or we could find a more flat area, maybe somewhere over there. We will just have to see. I definitely want it to always be loaded in though, so that we are constantly getting wool, at least when we are here in the valley. The numbers for this farm, it's about 11 stacks of wool per hour, so very productive, very efficient, and it just follows a traditional design. It's nothing fancy, it's just an observer that detects when the grass block gets eaten, which means that the sheep then grow their wool back. It fires the shears from the dispenser, and then a hopper minecart underneath that block picks up the wool. The shears return to the dispenser, and the wool will make its way to a chest. And this farm will have 20 modules to it. That means that there will be 20 sheep in this farm, one for each color, plus I think 4 additional white sheep slots, since the white wool can be used in other instances of building. Not that the other colors of wool can't be, but white is a very easy tone to use for walls and buildings and things like that, versus, say, lime wool, which is less practical. But we are going to need a lot of materials for this, including over 100 hoppers. We actually need 120 hoppers. Now, I did look in the chest, and we do have 10 hoppers right now, so we need 110 more. So we are going to head to the iron farm and get some iron. We should hopefully have quite a bit. I don't remember the last time that I came to the iron farm, but we'll see how that's doing. It should be right up here. There it is, loading into view over here at spawn, and we can see how we are doing with this. We will fly down here and okay. Shoot, we are missing a villager. How did that even happen? Let me fly up here, because this farm, dang it. Well, we probably missed out on a lot of iron. This farm isn't really going to... I cannot get through here, can I? I thought I could. I can on this side. Well, it wasn't lightning, obviously. How did that villager... It must have died, because the villagers don't respawn. That kind of sucks, though. So I'm going to have to run back to the village real quick and get myself another villager to put up here. And hopefully I can do that before the sun sets. I have plenty of time. So I will do that. I'm going to have to let this farm run for a little while so that I can get enough iron for all of these hoppers. All right, we are back in business. The Iron Golem farm is working again, so I am going to destroy all of this, or maybe the creeper will help me out with that, and then I will just AFK here for a little while. And I suppose while I wait for that, I can also talk about some of the other design elements that I will be including in this wool farm as soon as I can find some food. All right, we'll go with the golden carrots for now. So I will be using primarily dark oak planks and deep slate bricks, but I will also be using hints of birch in there just to add a little bit more brighter colors to the overall scheme of the build. And like I said, it's just going to be a 27, oh, we have a chicken jockey. A 27 by 21 hole, 7 blocks deep, and it's going to kind of be two-tiered. There's going to be 2 levels of modules, and the upper level is going to stick out a little bit more from the lower level. So it's sort of like an inverted pyramid in a way going towards the middle. I actually want to first of all, find my netherite shovel, which I would assume is in the ender chest. There it is. And we can start digging out this hole. Now, I want to figure out a pretty good spot to build this. We could go back here and relocate the tree farm, but I think having it over here by the rest of the animals, it just kind of makes sense, in my opinion. And I don't know exactly what the dimensions of this hill up here are, but I'm thinking that this could actually work pretty well, and what I may end up doing is having it sort of above ground. I think that could be kind of interesting since we kind of have this cliffside that we haven't really done anything with yet. If I took out part of it and then we kind of have it be a below and above ground hybrid, I think that would actually look really cool. So that is what I'm going to do. I will start digging this out, and let me know if you would like a tutorial on this. I would be more than happy to do a creative mode tutorial, but again, it's a pretty straightforward design as far as farms go. So I don't know, it's not elaborate like the storage house or our house over there, or even the barn for that matter. And it actually turned out to be, I did not plan this, it turned out to be the exact length of the barn roof. Not the supports here, but it goes all the way to the cobblestone slabs here on the end. Makes it easy for counting, but also it'll look really nice because it will be lined up and all. And we are doing some mining here, so I think I will, well, first of all, go empty out my inventory, but I'm going to switch the beacon over to haste. That way I can get some insta-mine. And actually, I just remembered, we collected a bunch of iron from prior to the iron farm, so I'm glad we got that working again, because that would have been annoying to have run out of all that iron, but I think we should have enough to make all of the hoppers that we need for this project. Alright, we have haste 2 for the first time, so let's head over to our pit, and it's gonna work out pretty nicely, I think. It is kind of difficult to explain this concept without any pictures or visuals or anything. I suppose I could put one up, but I think it would also be fun to just kind of have it come together as we build, and then you can see that start to form as I create it. So the spruce logs will be placed in the corners and on the sides, sort of like the trim for the whole build, and then the deep slate bricks will be placed underneath. Alright, so just to give a brief update on this, it's definitely starting to take shape. I have filled in the floor, and you can kind of start to visualize where the first set of modules for all of these sheep enclosures, pens, what are we calling these? Whatever they are, the modules that are going to be here. And then of course, the second row will be out a couple of blocks from these. So these will line these blocks right here, and then the next set up will kind of be along these blocks right there. So they'll be out a little bit, sort of like that inverted pyramid that I was talking about. Now, the difficult process, or at least the more tedious one, is going to be A, getting sheep of every single color, and B, getting dyes of every single color, both for the sheep and for the glass that I'm going to do for each sheep. That way I can just kind of tell which sheep is whatever it is. That way I can easily visualize that. Plus it will add a nice aesthetic to the farm, make it a little bit more colorful. So I think we will actually work on that real quick. And I should hopefully have or be able to create every single color of dye. So I'm going to collect the ones that I have in here. Alright, so it looks like we are just under halfway. I need black, and then we will be able to create gray as well. I should be able to hopefully make most colors with what I have. Let me see if we have cactus though. It looks like we do. I will smelt maybe, how many? I think we'll go with 2. We will need green dye, and we will need, we will also need cyan. So I'm going to do 3 of these, and we will need to get a cactus farm set up here pretty soon as well. We can automate it later on, but I just want to have a farm that we can just grow cactus in so that I can collect more of that. So I'm going to grab a shulker box here. It doesn't look like I have any. I wonder if any of these are empty. And those are all filled with resources. So I think I'm just going to get a chest, which I also do not have. This is just fantastic, isn't it? Let me make a chest real quick. And in this chest, we will put all of the dyes that we get. Now, I did just realize we need 1 for the sheep, and then we also need 1 for the glass. It's 7 glass blocks per module. So one of these, if I'm not mistaken, gives us 8 glass blocks. And yes, I have confirmed that. Perfect. So we will need 2 of every dye. Okay, so we have 2 of all of those except light blue, so I'm going to go ahead and make another light blue dye. And we will add that to the chest, and then we can make a cyan dye. That will give us 2 with the cactus green. Perfect. We need black dye. That one is very useful for many different colors, so let me create 2 of those for keeping, and then we need another one for the gray dye. I will put the black in there, and then another white dye will mix with the black. That should create the gray dye. 2 of those in the chest. Now we need pink and magenta. So let's make 2 pink dye, which we will reserve. And then we will also make the 2 magenta dye. We can put those in there. And what are we missing? We need orange and we need lime. And then I think that might be all of them. So for orange, we need red and yellow. And for lime, we will need white and green. So I am going to need 1 more green dye. Not to worry though, we still have enough cactus to get by. And is that all of the dye? We have 9 up here, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Uh-oh, we are missing 1. Which one am I missing? We have the blues, we have the purples and pinks. Oh, brown dye. Do we have cocoa beans? Maybe? Would it be in food? Where else might it be? Miscellaneous? We may have to run to the jungle and get some cocoa so that we can make the brown dye, because I'm not seeing any cocoa beans anywhere, which is a little surprising to me. I thought for sure we would have had some. Alright, I got more than enough cocoa beans from the jungle, so 2 of those turned into brown dye will give us 2 of every single dye. We will need a few extra white dye though, because like I said, we are doing extra white sheep, so I need 35 glass blocks, which is 5 white dye, because we don't have to dye the sheep. They're already white, so just 3 more of those, and the brown dye, that's all the dye that we will need, so we can put the extra back into the miscellaneous chest. And I'm going to make all of the glass now, and then we should be close to starting to assemble the modules here. I'm going to do the rest of the digging and the rest of the building of all of the floor and structure, and then we can add in the modules. And after a little bit of time digging out this hole and filling in the structure itself, we are ready to start placing in the modules, and you can really see the overall shape of this now. I will step up here. I do have plans to make it flow into the rest of the environment a little bit more up this way. Not 100% sure what I will do yet, but I have some ideas in mind. But down here you can kind of see each cutout where the modules will be placed in. They're 3 blocks wide. It's just a 1 by 1 block hole where the sheep will be. We are going to begin with the plumbing, so I'm going to go grab all of the hoppers and we will get those put in, and then we will place in the observers, and then we will probably do the the dispensers after that, and then the glass, and then we will get the sheep in place at the very end, fill them with shears, and right over here is the chest collection area. This shouldn't ever get full. I should check it frequently enough to where it won't ever get full. I don't think I will be on doing something for that long at a time without coming over in this direction. So I'm gonna go grab all of those hoppers and we will get all of those put in place. And it will begin with these hoppers right down here, which will feed into this chest, into the 3 chests, I should say. So I will just need to get into there, and then these will just come back out into this trench that I have dug going all the way around on all sides. Now I could have done a lot of different things that would have been much easier, specifically a water column, the pipe, whatever that is. I've never actually built one before, partially why I didn't want to, just because I'm more familiar with this, but we also had all of that iron, and this is just a little more simpler in my opinion. So all of those hoppers are in place now. These are going to be these little notches that you see. That's where the observers are going to go, and then the redstone will be on a block right behind them, right here. If I have a block, I do not, but they will be basically on this block where I'm standing, and then the dispensers right above that, and the sheep will be on that block right there, the dirt block, and that will go all the way around. So the lower tier of hoppers is finished. I'm actually going to do the upper tier as well, just to get all of that out of the way. And this isn't going to be anything fancy. It's just going to kind of go, well, I could feed it this way. I guess it doesn't matter which way I feed it. I can go over here, and we will just have a column go into the sides of these hoppers right here. And we will build these up, and these will line up 1 block underneath with the walls there. So I can go ahead and do that. And I think I will just build another row going around. It looks like we have a wandering trader who wants to check out our wool farm. No harm, no foul. Unless, of course, he gets in the way. And then we will have our mine carts on rails on top of these hoppers that go around as well. I kind of like this color palette because the hoppers blend in with the bricks in the background. You can't really tell that they're there. So I got enough glass. I went to the desert, got a little bit more sand. So we now have enough glass to dye all of it, and I put that in there. So I will do that next. All right, I have all colors of glass now. Before we do that, I think I'm going to get the observers in place, so I will grab those. I will also get the dispensers and the redstone. Actually, I think the way I will do this is by building 1 module first, just so everyone can kind of see how it looks, and then I will just go in and build all of the rest of them. We will start in this module right down here, which is blue glass. I don't really have a pattern to this, but I'm just going to build it true to how I did it in creative mode. All of the grayscale colors are kind of all at the top, and then the pink colors as well are also put up there, but it's mostly white and gray, black and brown. Those are all up at the top, and then red, yellow, orange, all of those are at the bottom. So this one is going to be blue. It will have blue glass here in the front and on the sides. Around on the back side, that is where those are not full blocks, so I cannot stand, or these are full blocks, so I can't stand on the edges here. But this will be an observer facing that grass block. When the sheep eats this grass, it will turn to dirt. It will trigger the observer. On top of the observer is going to be a dispenser. This is actually going to be facing in, so I need to remember to place those before I actually do the glass. And then we will have glass on top and one more glass here on the back. So now all I have to do is go dye a sheep blue and bring it and drop it right in there. Load up the dispenser with shears and then put a minecart with a rail underneath that grass block, which I also forgot about. I need to go grab some of those. But with all of that being done, as soon as the sheep eats the grass, it will fire those shears, and that wool will travel around our hopper system into these chests over here. Let's get that sheep in place. And it looks like we have some pillagers. I was about to say, since we don't use sheep as our primary food source, once we get these sheep into their enclosure, I'm not too concerned about keeping too many sheep on hand. We can have a few just to keep the barn full, but especially right now as I start to move these sheep, I'm not too concerned about any of them really escaping their enclosure. Of course, I don't even know if they can get out. Okay, they can. Perfect. So we will dye him blue, and then we will bring him over to his new permanent home. Let me grab that lead. We will bring him over to his new permanent home in the wool farm. And now this is the part that is probably going to get a little tedious and annoying. I have to get the sheep inside of that 1x1 compartment. I may have to wreck these stairs here on the side just to make it a little bit easier. Come on. Oh, that was close. And there we go. All right, so the sheep is in place, and that lead, I did not pick it up, but okay, there it is. I was going to say, once I get the rails and hopper minecarts put on, it will just pick up that lead and put it over there. But the sheep is now in place, so now all I have left, aside from the minecart rails down there and the shears, I just have to put a redstone on the backside of that. Let me go get the rest of those materials. Alright, so now I can place everything down. We will get the rail put on there. The hopper minecart, we can load that up with shears in just a second. I will put the last block on there, and let me get some redstone down before that sheep eats the grass. And then I can load the shears into there. And now if we just step back and just kind of wait until this sheep eats the grass, then we will see the whole farm in action. Well, this is taking a little longer than I had hoped, so we will just kind of let him do his thing. In the meantime, I am going to work on the rest of the modules, and I will meet all of you back here once we have a fully finished automated wool farm. And with all of the sheep in their place, the farm is now officially finished. Of course, like I said before, I still have a little bit more work to do aesthetically, but that will mostly be taken care of off camera. I do want to do some landscaping and things like that just to make it a little more lush, I suppose, is the best word for that. But all of the modules are fully functional. Every dispenser has 9 sets of shears in it. It was about 350 iron ingots in total. You will notice, and I actually need to get this fixed, The glass, I forgot about this. The glass on these two bottom corners, it's more than 8 blocks, or I guess more than 7, but also more than 8. So I need to get a couple more, 3 more glass blocks of each of those colors put in. That way we don't have issues like that. But other than that, the farm is completely functional. And right down here, we already have at least 1.5 stacks. Let me go ahead and arrange this into columns so we can kind of see. Okay, I just counted everything up. We have over 2 stacks now in that short amount of time it's been. Honestly, I just got this purple sheep in maybe 5-10 minutes ago, so I will definitely time this AFK and see how much we get in an hour with all 20 fully functioning modules. But for now, that is where we are going to end today's episode. I'm looking forward to the ancient city when we do that. Of course, this was all in preparation for that so that we can sneak around in there nice and quiet without awakening the warden. But again, that's where we're going to leave it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Optimistic Survival series. If you did, definitely hit that thumbs up button and be sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on daily content as soon as I publish it. Check the description for some more important information, links, how to contact me, all of that good stuff. And with all of that being said, comment, like, subscribe, remember to stay optimistic, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye.